in any corners of the world. Okay, so I'm DJ Chin, and I'd like to welcome you to Good, Great, Unstoppable, the Francine de las Alas show, the only show of its kind. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm very, very sad, and ito na po yung saddest ko, that we only got 700 views 2 weeks last, 2 Saturdays ago, diba? So sana bumalik yung the rest of the thousands and thousands of followers. So remember, we're going for 2 million views for the sake of our station, DCRJ 810 AM. All right. So anyway, but then again, those viewers are probably the 1% who are looking to create the next best versions of themselves. So to those 1% who stayed on those 700 viewers, kudos to you guys. Diba? I see great things for you. Tejo, I'm not a fortune teller. It most likely rests upon us to become the best versions of us or to have the best versions of our lives. Okay. So anyway, again, we air live from DZRJ 810 AM every Saturdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can also catch us at various TV Plus Boxes channel. And syempre, we would like you to check out also our YouTube channel. That's RJ News PH. And also don't forget to subscribe, especially if you like public service, news and business affairs, and shows like ours. Okay? So don't also forget, and may I ask to please out of kindness and kindly and generously, CLC, click like and comment. Okay, only positive things, because you know what, we really try to keep the nega out because there are already other various platforms and channels for that. Okay, so anyway, actually we can't afford to be nega, and there is actually a book with that title, We Can't Afford to Be Negative. Touche. Anyway, so shout out to Nanay. 2 weeks back, I actually made a special intention message for her. And the day after, she actually passed on. So before we go further down the rabbit hole, I'd like to give a special shout out to Lola Inay, who passed away I think 2 Sundays ago. I think 2 Sundays ago. So join me as I send out this prayer message to her. Okay. So I'm really very proud, because I'm really very proud to be transmitting to the universe, because anything that I say out here, that's why we only leave positive stuff out there, will go out and reach the farthest, and will reach up until the closest that it can get to the heavens. So we have so anyway, the night before, we were already given two Saturdays ago. We were already given a heads up that that's why I was able to send a few words out there into the cosmos, right, or even to the heavens. But as I said, the day after she had passed on. So Lona and I, here's my message to you. Join me, guys. Diba? You may also have some loved ones who have passed on, especially the last 2 years in this COVID. Wow, I don't want to say season. So you can also send a prayer out there. So to our Lola Inay, I hope you like both the radio message, the transmission, and also the video that we made for you. Okay, 103, and you have lived long enough. We missed our chance to visit you because we were not yet financially strong to whisk ourselves to Canada. To have time for you, and that is one actually of our regrets. And when we were able to stand a bit on secure ground, the pandemic happened. Still, we did not think that we would miss out on you. You seemed very strong for someone who has held on for more than a century. Okay, I did not want to regret any further. So the special shout out, the welcoming message in the heavens that I sent out, and especially the video, are the final for us, our final gift for you. So I'm glad I did the video, because after watching it, it reminds me of how happy and loved you made us feel while you were here. So in a lot of ways, grabe Lola Inay, kami ang nagkulang sa'yo. So I hope that the feel of the heaven makes up for whatever shortcomings we had. We love you, Nanay, and you are one of the few best experiences and shared lives I've had, and I've had the privilege, and we have had the privilege to experience. So, isang mahigpit na yakap from all of us, Nanay, and thank you very much for everything. We love you, and let this message loop and reverberate into the universe and unto the heavens, and so that you can just always go back to it and hear it. Be at peace, Nanay, and you are greatly missed. So, you know what, guys? I I'm sure you also have loved ones like that who have touched your lives, iba? Because not naman every family member, unfortunately, will have that same impact for you, diba? And if you have one of those loved ones, if you have few or several of those loved ones who had great impact in your lives, diba? It's offering a prayer in behalf of you guys and with you, and also offering a thank you to the heavens for letting us, for giving us, I think, the shared experience with them. Diba? So anyway, Nanay, thank you for, I'm proud of you for a life well lived. So anyway, speaking of peace, diba? And I'm the one without it in the last few weeks. What is this? So let me just turn that off. That is actually my 10-minute. I time myself 10 minutes for certain things that I have to do right away, before a particular schedule. So anyway, I went to the PT last Saturday, and I'm because I've been suffering from this lower back pain the last, actually, third week already, and maybe a little bit more, but it actually escalated. So I wanted to get both acupuncture treatment and also physical therapy treatment. And I used to go to this clinic, past tense. I used, because the pandemic happened and then that Saturday thing happened. I used to go to this clinic because, they had both the service that I wanted. Okay, and they were reasonably priced. Okay, they were not thieves, so to speak. And for me, the only service that they don't have is a chiropractor spinal adjustment. But otherwise, they were actually fine for me. For me at that time, they were the best clinic. I was actually there December before the pandemic happened, before December before Taal threatened to erupt. But anyway, so I've been having this lower back pain the last few weeks. At first, it was negligible. Then it became tolerable, and then finally it became hell. So it became difficult for me to turn around in my bed and pulling myself up. So I don't know if that ever happens to you. So it also became difficult for me to get up, or I sort of like have to rotate my trunk to pull myself out of bed. So it seems like my from my trunk to my tailbone, it just seemed sort of like frozen up. It seems like all my muscles have bunched up there. So I tried all sorts of home remedy tricks, right? So you guys, if you have any lower back pain home remedy tricks that not just only it relieves you of the pain or the discomfort temporarily, but one that really takes it out completely, please do share. Okay. As you know, guys, I have my massage tools, I have my mega painkiller tools, right? I mentioned that the last time, but last week was just really the worst. And I finally got an appointment, and the sad thing was they didn't show up. Although my doctor said he won't be there until today. But then he said that the clinic was going to be open. And in fact, I even asked 2 days before or the day before. And I was told that there would at least be the receptionist and the physical therapist. So half of the service that I wanted. But when I got there, he was not there. No one was there. And we waited, and there's also another patient who was waiting. The problem was no one even advised us. So I had to tell him. And the thing was, I did not even get an apology. So for me, they've been my long time doctor and has become my friend. And it's not that I want any special treatment, but that back pain was seriously troubling, right? So uh, I think we look to social skills at the very least with our doctor. So anyway, I had to leave right? So we spent how much wasted money on, and I already told the cab driver to wait because I was social distancing, so I don't like transferring from one cab to another. So of course we had to tip the cab because I in my we had to give we have no not only tip but pay the cab driver generously because he also waited with us, right? So anyway, um so that's what happened to me last Saturday. And I hope, you know what, doctors take their patients seriously, clinics especially, right? Clinics especially, because, you know, I don't think patients go there, patients go up to clinics and get doctor's appointment or any kind of therapies or treatment appointments just for the heck of it. There is cost at a minimum, right? And there is also effort. And if the problem with the effort there is if the person has difficulty moving about. So but anyway, again, I've always believed that if we don't have to stick to a situation, right? We don't have to stick to a situation if we don't like it. So I think that was the perhaps the last, or maybe I won't go there for a year. I don't buy. I'm such a good patient. I won't go there. So I'll probably, because you know it's backache, I'll probably finally go to that chiropractor that I was talking about 2 weeks back, right? The one that I always watch uh, and the video where I watch to live vicariously. Okay, so I think that's what I will just do now. I don't want to go because it's also one, it's pricey. I don't get it, right? But but the pain was just really bad that whole week. So I'm already thinking of just shifting, right? Shifting to another kind of therapy and to another kind of to another doctor for the time being. But anyway, so that's about my experience last week as far as backache is concerned. And this week, also believe in self healing. So I've talked about this with you guys. So it's you know because the pain was lingering, and I'm sharing this with you so that you can also take care of your body and you can also utilize certain God given gift and talent that's just hiding inside of you, right? So because I'm not yet sure about the other doctor that I want to go to, and I wasn't so sure what kind of doctor I should go to. Also, I gave myself enough time to really put myself in my home care, on my home care, my own self care, home care therapy that's targeted on my lower back and and related region related region, right? Related region. So if it's lower back, it's probably kidneys also, gallbladder, they said, right? And I checked it out, and unfortunately, uh, ah, I also was waking up a few times with some night sweats, and that's also related to either kidneys or diabetes. So I'm hoping that it's just, you know, the big M for women. But anyway, so the thing is, because I wasn't still so sure, and I also wanted to observe, and you know, if you have the means, guys, if you have the means, go straight to the doctor, right? But if you're like me, where we just really not yet, where I'm not going to spend the hard-earned income that we've had and savings, whatever, it's not big pa kasi. If ever something should happen to me, I would rather that I leave that fund to my family rather than pay the doctor. I'm okay. Surprisingly, I was also calm. But anyway, so here's the thing. So I did that. So the whole, not the whole week, but I chose certain, I think 30 minutes at least a day for the, since Saturday, and I think I also had one on Sunday. Then a few more times during the week. I should do it every day because I still have this lower back pain, but compared to last week, this is like 80% better. 80% better, and in the last 3 to 4 days it had actually gotten better and better and better with my remediation, so to speak. So anyway, and so I got to exercise also, and that's also one of the most important things. So I also wanted to go back to why I also wanted my lower back pain gone, because workout is very important. So here's the thing: with those experiences, guys, right? You have to know your body. Okay, you have to know your body so you can also do some. I'm sure you, since you also pray for good health anyway, right? You might as well also utilize or learn how to do self-healing intentions. I'm not saying that that replaces your doctors. No, it doesn't. Okay. But for your, I guess, for some semblance of peace of mind and a degree of self control over your health, right, over your physical health, it also helps to, and at the same time, getting it to a point where it's easily treatable and or curable at best. Okay, so I think that's one of the advantage. Those are the three advantages of learning how to self heal. At least I'm not saying that it's going to heal you completely because I don't know yet. Right, I've only been trying to apply it on myself, and it has sort of well, short of a miracle, it has really been doing a lot of. It has really been effective for me. But since I'm not a doctor, I don't know what's going on inside my body. But again, it's I do recommend that we also know this modality so that again we can take ourselves to the point where it's treatable and curable. Okay, because many diseases can just go haywire, and if you have no if we don't, I guess, if we have no sense of self-healing ability or knowledge, right, we are constantly going to be dependent on the, I guess, on the external feedback like from our doctors, and that is where we start getting helpless. So we have to also help them. Okay, so that's why my pretty much what went on as far as my backache is concerned. So my doctor staff didn't show up, right? I didn't get any apology, and now I'm going. At least I'm not saying big apology. I'm just saying, you know what? Do this and do that. The worst pala, the part was I was made to feel like it was my fault. I was not clear enough. So that's I guess that's why I felt sort of like Sarah words just derided. Is that a big word? Let's figure that out. Let's ask Siri. Siri, what does deride mean? Let's figure that out.
Derive means
Oh, no, that's not the
obtain
one.
something from a specified source.
So Siri doesn't know it because she gave me the word derive. So anyway, that's the thing. So so aside so also learning to also how to take care of your body using in self-healing intentions. Okay, so again, so that you are at least helping already your doctor, by 80%, taking it to a point where it's either where it's treatable and curable. Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you like to have a semblance of healing ability so that you can also help your body, and not just help your body and help your peace of mind, but also help the doctors or the medical staff or the medical practitioners who will also help you get well, right? Especially for big diseases like cancer or even diabetes or any organ malfunction, right? Or any cellular disease or I think there's a lot that the self-healing that can do for us, and also a lot that has not been discovered about it. But you know what? By my experience, guys, it's once I guess you get to understand and get to master certain principles, health principles, and become health principles, and become aware of also of how to intend. It's I guess it becomes pretty fast, right? The effect, and also it becomes um, more effective. Because you know what? Yesterday I suddenly had this bruise here, in the inner part of my arm. There were two. And I got so surprised because, I was moving around meat shanks because we had food order yesterday. So I was moving it around. So I thought, I went back to my, of course, my station. But before that, I had to wash first because I thought I had, blood spatters on my, blood and meat smell on my hand. So I washed, and then when I washed my arm, it was there. So it was like some capillaries breaking, and I was so worried because I had a story in my head when that my mom told me that she had this friend who got a massage and then immediately after her skin broke into several bruises at the back, and it turns out she had leukemia. So I'm scared. I had so that story really stuck to my head. So when I had that yesterday, I was so worried, and I sent my husband a message. Then I said I'm worried, and then he said go to the doctor. So I asked my sister and all that. I sent some of the all these cumulative what they call that, all these cumulative symptoms that I had, so she can ask her friends, right? Well, doctor friends about it. But anyway, then I realized, and then I remembered that I know that I have this healing ability that I could probably use on my on that bruise. And you know what? I just whispered healing, 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 whispered on there on that part of my body, and also in my and my blood health and the circulatory system and even bone marrow health. But that was special. That and the blood work health, so to speak. And you know what? Immediately after, now it's not even visible. Immediately after, yeah, that I think 10 minutes when I noticed it, it lightened up. So it's like the body really responds. Really responds to us. I remember this experiment by Emoto, the crystallization of the water experiment, where he asked individuals to whisper either negative words. There were two, I think, two glasses of water, and one batch of a group of individuals was asked to say negative words onto it, and the other group of individuals were asked to say positive words. And you know what? The negative word, the glass that was thrown with negative words actually had the water did not have was formless, right? It had different shapes, but it was like little bubble like. But the one that had positive words, the water turned into snowflake like had under the microscope showed snowflake like crystal formations. They are crystal shapes, so that's a difference. So can you imagine? So I think, and this is just and to think these are just positive words, right? It's not yet the systematic and the systemic way of really doing healing intentions. So anyway, so that's one of my. So I think there is a lot of potential there. But for me, guys, as far as holistic health is concerned, we still need the medical side. The medical side. We need nutritionals. We need healthy eating. We need Zen. All right, Zen mode state. We need exercise and fitness. And we also need self healing tools or abilities. I think those are the six things that we must that we must at least have at our disposal, right? So anyway, so that's about my dami ko nang nakwento for my lower back pain. But again, the message is if you're a clinic and if you're a doctor, please make sure that you take care of your patients. Don't make them feel like it's their fault, right? Especially it's very clear. The message of the patient is very clear. Yeah, the message of the patient is very clear. Okay. Second, guys, my lower back pain is fine, and the only thing that I have done, no medicines yet, no Ponstan, nothing. Only thing that I've done is to carve out time for self healing, right? Self healing therapy. There. So isn't that nice? Something that I can share with you. And you know what? Maybe as I said, maybe I'll put it in a certain system and then share it with you guys later on. So anyway, so as far as going to the doctor is concerned, because we are still social distancing. But you know what? November 2, we only had 1,500 cases. We're back to 2,700. And I hope we can really bring the COVID cases down to zero. But what's alarming, guys, is ever since day one of the pandemic, the death cases uh, although it's very low comparatively compared to, of course, the cases, but the very fact that that number is consistent and it's not really going down, that there's sort of like we're 190 to 200 plus, that's still, I think that's what we have to look, that's also what we have to focus on, right, in this COVID, making sure that although the recovery rates are also high, but the thing is, we want to also make it zero cases and zero deaths. That's what we want to. I hope that we can also focus on that, so that we have 100% recovery rate, and none of us will be scared of COVID anymore and of the pandemic. Okay. So anyway, because of that backache, and because I had to go to the clinic, I told you we don't really go out yet. It's our way of contributing to the government efforts, diba? To the government's effort to get rid of, to kick COVID-19 in our, from us, from our community, from our nation. So going there, I was also concerned about health and safety protocols. That's also the reason why I haven't gone to Dr. K. So I Googled, right, how to safely go to our doctor. So if you're one of those who go, do share also. Have you gone to the clinic? What protocols did you implement for yourself? And what protocols did you see that the clinic you went to or the hospital you went to implemented? And also at the same time, what improvements can they also make? Okay. So anyway, when I called up when I messaged my doctor, I also wanted to ask him, and also Dr. K, this one, the chiropractor. I also want to ask them how to what say health and safety protocols do they put in place, right? So that the patients will also be safe from COVID-19. But because I'm a typical Pinoy, I shy away from making anyone feel that they are put on the spot. I didn't get to ask. So I should. So instead, I did my homework. And this is what you have to do first, guys. Okay. So I'm sharing this with you, what I discovered. Check if the clinic practices extra health and safety steps to prevent COVID-19 domino effect infection. Because it only takes one, guys, one carrier. And according to the article that I read from Mayo Clinic, these are the info that you have to get. So take down, bring out your pen and paper and ask them if they have requirements regarding wearing mask wearing, not just by both the staff and the visitors, but it's ask what their cleaning protocols and sanitizing measures are, like for any room, right? Exam rooms, waiting rooms, restrooms, elevators, etc., and especially frequently touched surface. You can also ask what are the social distancing practices at the check-in, in the waiting areas, and in the exam room. Ask if they limit the number of people who can be in the clinic at the same time. Ask them also is there a screening question and temperature checks for the staff and visitors at all entrances, right? Because right now what they just do is the thermometer gun. Ask if there's any special measure they given, like spatial isolation or instructions for people who have COVID-19. And you can also ask how doctors and other staff are using PPEs, if they are using. And also check if they do telemedicine, okay? If they have that option, so that you don't, if there's no need to go anyway, okay? So I think it's very important that we are also responsible for ourselves. When you go there, guys, remember, please be mindful also of yourself and others. Help others also fall into the social distancing line. Okay. People will probably be grumpy and grumble and sungit and taray and everything. That's because they're not used to it. But just use your inside voice, right? Inside voice and kind voice, and just say sorry and thank you right away. Those things work. Okay. So anyway, I'm really very particular about health and safety, even in clinics. So if I shied away from hurting my doctor's feelings, we so what I did when we went there, we brought our own health and safety gear. So aside from mask and face shield, alcohol and disinfectant, we had our towels for the for the beds that they use for the physical therapy. We also, yeah, brought in our Lysol spray and also our alcohol. So you can do the same. I don't care if they think I'm maarte. Diba? They won't anyway. If I get COVID-19, I'm not sure if I'm even gonna survive it. Thankfully, I should, and I will, right? But the thing is, who's going to be what look after my family's financial needs and family needs? And right, no, not them. It's just gonna be you for your family and me for my family. So we also have to implement our own. Okay. So anyway, we have to do our own share of helping promoting anti-COVID measures, right? It takes two to tango. So it's not just them, but it's also us. Okay. So anyway, it's 7:30, and uh I should be going straight already to our convo, but our convo is naman very short. So you know what? So speaking, let's just go here. I just want to talk about the cancel culture. But before that, speaking of tango, I don't want to tango. I just want to do the cha cha cha. Okay. So are you familiar with that? Hometown cha cha cha. The K-drama has completed all its episode, and now I can finally see it. I'm saving it for last, so to speak. So I don't like the reason why I didn't watch Hometown Cha Cha Cha, because I don't like waiting for new episodes. I want to marathon the whole thing within 24 hours. That's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. But anyway, so anyway, I hope that storyline and ending went well. I think it did, right? So I know Kim Sun. The thing, and the thing is, I know Kim Sun Hoon had some backlash or scandal of some sort. I did not anymore check out what it was because it was not right. Right? It didn't feel right to. It didn't feel right to be a gossipy kind of person. But anyway, I just have some sort of idea because when you scroll, diba, the titles are there. Because when me, I like to look for Google articles. So, but anyway, so that's the only reason why I have some vague or some shallow info about it. Kasi nga, bawal ang chismosa. I add that to my badge of honor. So ikaw, if you want badges of honor also, add that. Bawal ang chismosa. Let's not saw in somebody else's life as if naman we are all saints. We are not. But anyway, here's the thing. What really caught my attention there is the cancel culture. You know, I've been seeing this a lot of this cancel culture, and for me personally, I don't agree with it simply because here's my question about when did negativity become a call for a culture, right? We should at least ask ourselves why we must even include ourselves into something so into a call for being hateful, for being loathing. And I know I remember I also saw this in the call of the presidential candidate. Uh, how I don't know if he's a senator. Is he BBM? Sorry, I'm not into politics. As I said, I stay away from anything negative because I do my share in helping individuals because you can do also you can also do it that way. But anyway, he also called for because someone I think there are establishments, I don't know if what parts of the country are pro BBM, right? And then these individuals are suddenly called to boycott these restaurants. I go, wow, how, right? And you know, this is dangerous. This is dangerous and hybrid and a breeding ground for BE or a crab, for a breeding ground for crab mentality and bullying. The worst part is it is intentional. You know what? Whether you're pink or you're that red, blue, and yellow and white, the flag color, right? It's not for us to call for anyone to hate anybody, right? So this cancel culture thing, right? This cancel culture thing is an antithesis it's an antithesis to the kind of nation that we want, kind of nation and kind of Filipinos that we want to be and to build. Okay? So my question is, why not hatakan pataas? Why not look into ourselves first, right? Because you know what? Whatever, life is a mirror. Whatever you hate and like about an individual is exactly the same thing that you hate and love about yourselves. And you may say, like, let's say in the case of the presidential, that they're saying that he's a thief and all that. You may not be a thief to that degree, right? But you have probably taken or coveted something in another form. So it's the same banana. Sinners are sinners, or sins are sins, right? That's why we can't. Our business in life is to improve ourselves inside out. Okay, so look into ourselves first. Why not become a better version of ourselves? That's the hardest. So how can we ask other people to do the same and then call everyone to hate that individual or that establishment? Why not call for altruism also instead, right? So these are the things that we must ask. So if we do all these things, made a daily effort of improving ourselves and then bringing that out into the community, we will discover that that being a new version of ourselves is hard, and it gets harder each day, because because there is a hierarchy. We are contrary to what everyone says, that we are not perfect, that or not to go for perfection. When we do improve ourselves, that is the byproduct, right? So we will discover. So there is a hierarchy to the best versions of ourselves. It's not just one version. And when we do all those things, not when we do all those things, and we usually do those things not just for ourselves but for our loved ones, we will discover that it's very hard, right? It's very hard to do. And when we discover it's very hard to do, we can now become more compassionate and forgiving of categorical faults. Okay, I'm not saying forgive crimes. It's different. That's how I'm saying, okay? But what I'm saying is, when we are just throwing cancel culture at everybody, that that um that that hurt our feelings, right? I think that that's when it becomes unhealthy. So let's be careful, right? Let's be careful with calling for cancel culture. Why not say hatakan pataas culture, right? Or best versions of ourselves culture, or altruistic culture. Yun ang kultura na dapat na binibuild natin, that we should be building and breathing life, right? Because that one can become generational altruism, kesa naman generational woundedness ang bit-bit natin. Okay? So anyway, that's about it for cancel culture. But if there's anything, right, that we should not be canceling, as well, it's Christmas. I've seen posts that there are already Christmas lights and decors in buildings, and I think now people are more hopeful, right? That this is going to be a better Christmas than last year during the height of the pandemic. And let's hope for that. Still stay social distancing, even if the numbers are down, but that there are still death cases that are constant. In other words, that means we have not really defeated COVID yet. So anytime it comes back or spikes up, that death is still that death will COVID will continue to take lives waste and wait. COVID will continue to defeat certain lives, and we don't want that, right? We don't want unexpected or untimely death. We want our loved ones to be with us. Okay, so that being said, with this hopeful Christmas season, let's all I hope we can celebrate it, aside from celebrating it with a certain discipline and health habits, right? uh, i'm also excited that I'm also excited that for the first time, and I'm not really excited about Christmas, I don't know why. Maybe because it's tiring for me. I've always closed in the last few years. We've always since 2018, our kitchen we've never celebrated Christmas as much as we want to anymore because our kitchen is always open for the orders, food orders from family and friends. And we only open it during Christmas because these were already friends who used to order from us. So it's not really a big business. So so that's exactly why I'm no longer I'm especially more no longer more not fond of. I'm more no longer fond of it. But this Christmas, it seems that it I think um, because it's more hopeful because the numbers are going down. I think we should all celebrate. Okay, we should all celebrate for the lives that were both, even for the lives that had been taken. Right. Let us treasure them, cherish them, and whatever greatness that you have, whatever greatness or beauty they have, beauty that they have, beauty that their lives have shown or given us. Let's continue that. So you can probably serve the food that they used to love, right? Or come up with a tribute for them. But if we're going to do that for them, let's also do it for us who are here to continue the journey. Okay, so hopefully this Christmas is gonna be better, and so it's gonna be better in terms of zero COVID cases and zero COVID death. I hope that this is finally the greatest Christmas gift that we can give ourselves. Because remember, guys, COVID is very behavioral. Okay, so if we do our share in making sure that we are also healthy, getting vaxxed, and practicing all health and safety protocols as a united what do you call that, citizens, right, of Filipino citizens, that can be the greatest gift that, as I said, that we can give ourselves. Okay, so anyway, anyhow, Christmas also signifies end of the year, so out with the old and time for new. So for me, I wish no more pandemics, right? No more unfair, untimely deaths from it, and more good reasons to cheer this time. I hope that we have ang sobrang super cleansing, and that new greatness, altruistic greatness can come out of this. Okay? So I hope the world wakes up to zero COVID-19 finally and zero pandemic from Christmas onwards. And if this can happen today, then it's the best Christmas ever. So may permanent peace, love, healing, recovery, grace, kindness to one and all be our gift and be our response to the world. Diba? So that's Christmas season. But better instead of cancel culture, bringing everybody up. Okay? So anyway, it's 7:42 and this is going to be, I'm now down to our convo. So let's say I have, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, 17 minutes for, so the last few weeks we have been taking on 2022, okay, and calling for ending 2021 on a gear up note. So I'm asking you, since if you were tuning in for the last 3 to 4 weeks, what have you done for your 2022? What kind of personal investment, self-investment steps have you taken so far? Okay, so don't you give me reasons like I have no time. Make time. And you know what? If this has also been your go-to excuse for the longest times when it comes to changing up and changing forward, we should all finally cringe. You know, I always say I don't have time. Do you even hear yourself, especially when it comes to carving out or cultivating the best life for you and your family? Okay. So if all the good and great things are out of reach because we don't want to change, how can we put ourselves and our lives? I mean, if all the good and the great things are out of reach because we don't want to change, how can we even think of putting ourselves and our lives last? Right? So when we don't go for change, that means we are not important. And I always say to myself, right? Galangin ang sarili, bigyan ng importansya, be it at health, be it at finances, be it at relationship, be it at personal, be it at spiritual, be it in career. be it on success. Okay, you have to respect yourself by giving yourself and your life importance, diba? So over the years, personally, I really cringe when I really cringe, or when I hear myself giving excuses, right? I know it isn't the best that I can do, and I am only failing myself further. And that's what you do, guys. That's what you do when you keep making excuses. Fail yourself not only over and over, but further and further and further. Okay? So no excuses. Learn, defeat your demons and dramas, our demons and dramas, improve, and then, of course, enjoy the results. Then repeat. Okay? These are the fun cycles that I have implemented, especially in the last few years. So I encourage everyone to try it. So you will also be so surprised at how much, wait, how much you are capable of, diba? So and how much we are capable of in terms of changing, at what you can bring literally, physically, diba? Results that you can bring to you and your family. Okay, so the goal is hashtag empowerment. Okay, now I want to share with you my favorite lessons that I have learned this 2021. These are all universal. That means tested, proven, and true. So you guys too can also pick up a thing or two from my own experiences. And bonus, because I don't self sabotage, I really apply my lessons over and over again until I have mastered the habit and the discipline. So for sure, these tricks are up my sleeves. They already work. Okay. So number one that I want to share with you guys, these are the lessons that are my favorite, especially the last that I still got to discover during the last quarter. It's like the feather on my cap, so to speak. One, Atomic Habits. So the last few weeks, our team have been reading this book, Atomic Habits, and I have this, and for me, when you're trying to improve yourself, you just constantly are met with one inner blockade after another. And I also have that, right? When it comes to self-governance or self-management, especially if I am going after a goal. So we all do, okay? So the advantage of starting low and working on ourselves early, we have already worked out all the lame kinks and all the lame excuses. We already kicked it out of the curb, so to speak. So I really, most of the time, no longer fall for I have no time or it's not me. I know that my brain is fully capable of learning new things and mastering new skills. Okay, but developing all the habits I want all at once is a lifelong search, and I think I may have just found one additional solution to it. Okay, so guys, for me, I love all the roles, and I'm sure you guys love all the roles in your life, and if as well, diba? And I'm sure that if you guys could also do it all at the same time, you would, because I would. And many of our episodes here have actually talked about time and task management. I've given you different upgraded versions, right, from the basic to the most recent way of how to time block. And all of them are functional and very sensible, right? Especially if you run it and utilize it. Okay, so from a user's point of view, it's functional and sensible. It works on all goals and all habit building and all discipline building. So with everything going on around me lang in our lives, it's easy though to lose track of these disciplines because sometimes you don't know which one to focus on first. Okay, so in my case, my life, okay, I'm gonna share this, runs on schedule, and it's a goal-driven schedule. And I encourage everyone to have a goal-driven schedule. Okay, so my schedule is like that. It's not task or it's not just typical task or routine or life circumstances driven. Okay, all my action plans are also a byproduct of all the improvements over the years from defeating my own demons and dragons. I think if you ask me, that's my hobby, defeating demons and my dramas. So I'm the kind of person who believes in the uh, power of discipline and habits altogether. Okay. Now this book, Atomic Habits, has reminded me that all the tools that I use, right, and all the process that I go through, those that I have learned over the years, are the I'm reminded of all those things while reading the book. Okay, so if there is any takeaway here, there's one more that I have like a light bulb just lit off, right? It went off, and I said I can integrate this insight into already how into building the habits that I want, and in the habits that I want with the habits that I want, all kinds of habits that I want, including time and task management. Okay. So anyway, so if you see my updated version of my time and task management system, it is now focused. It also additionally is now focused on habit development. In a habit development. So my new schedule will look something like this. And guys, listen up, okay? So for example, if usually my schedule would have 7 a.m. Get up fully, 8 o'clock workout, 9:30 start work, 11:30 to 1 p.m. lunch break and household like that. Uh, if typically it has that, so they're goal driven because the workout is there. Getting up at 7 a.m. is there because that's the best. I have no reason to really get up at 6 a.m. yet. What else? So that's goal driven. My work, right, and my project, as far as my Usana business is concerned, it's also there. It's also time blocked, right? And then my household, there. So all the others are secondary. So that's what it would typically look like. But I always so the additional now, right? Additional technique that I added there so that I can follow my schedule, because many times that they can still fail me because there everything there, everything in my schedule is pretty much goal driven. So that if it's pretty much goal driven, that means it requires a certain habit of being consistent, right? And the discipline of also being committed and being consistent there. So that is where, so I tend to still break, right, the action plan, the schedule that I've laid out. Meanwhile, what happens there then is I delay all other results, of course, the most important. And not only that, I also end up delaying the life that I want. So with this book, Atomic Habits, now my schedule goes something like this, because all the other goals are pretty much work in progress, right? They're all set and becoming cast in stone. So I no longer take them out. But I have problems, let's say, with keeping time, right? And time, and therefore I have sort of problems in committing to a particular thing, especially if it's difficult to do, right? So this time, based on this takeaway, my insight is my schedule looks like this now. So instead of just, let's say, 7 a.m. get up, and then 8 o'clock workout, 9:30 start work, 11 to 1 p.m. break household, that's not goal driven, but I just need to do that because it's a responsibility for my family. And then at around 2 p.m. onwards, I go back to my work, and all the way till 6 o'clock. Then if I have to go back at 8 o'clock, I go back at 8 o'clock. So it's like that now, right? But now this time, when I say it's habit focused, 7 a.m. is really the ideal time, the most important thing for me that I must really be able to carry out. So I sleep late. Okay, so now it says there 7 a.m., then all caps, habit, then get up fully, then whatever that habit is. So now that's the only thing. So in all my schedule, everything else goes workout, and then the workout, then project, income project, and then lunch, and then income project. So everything else is like that. So the first time that I rolled that out, right? Of course, I did not wake up at 7 a.m. I didn't get up. I mean, at 7 a.m. I woke up at 7, but didn't get up. That's different. So that's because I slept at 3 a.m. because I was not sleeping and I was really enjoying my K-drama, right? So that means 7 a.m. was gonna, if I keep doing that habit, I'm gonna fail in that habit because I tend to sleep late. So I adjusted instead of making 7 a.m. my get up goal, I instead now in my goal put it at 11 p.m. sleep. I should be asleep by 11 so that I can soon wake up. So I can now wake up at 7 in the morning. So you guys also can do the same. So if you also want to develop a new habit, right? Make it a new habit as a goal, or come up build a goal, go after it, and then create a habit that's required of that goal. What you can do is when you make your weekly schedule, You can also choose the most important habit and just in this that you want to develop in the next few weeks, because the habits may take some habits take time, right? So it has to become it has to become familiar first, and then it has to become it has to become a practice, then it has to become top of mind. So that's how that is pretty much the process. So just choose one habit and put it, then name, and whenever, and when you integrate that into your schedule, right there, okay, right there in your right there before the right there after the time, all caps habit, so that every single day that's just you will work on that. So if you put so much, because if you put so much, you might not be able to carry or lift yourself yet. So just work on one first, okay? So anyway, that's atomic habits. That's one of the atomic. That's how you can actually start building atomic habits, okay? Anyway, second, ally within. So I come from an industry where we tend to be emotionally invested. So it makes sense because we break free from our poor psychological wallets. We break free from our own self-limiting beliefs and behaviors. We also get to realize and see that our wow, our full our the potential, what we are fully capable of. So when we get rejected over time by the powers that make all things certain, it can really break our spirits. Okay. Fortunately, also we are also in that industry where we foster and get trainings and education on self-help, self-development, and self-management, as self-help, self-development, self-direction, and self-management as well. Okay, it also teaches us emotional strength and stamina. However, if we are too close to the fire, we may not see how invested we are, right? How emotionally invested we are, and we end up spending emotional energies on all the wrong places, right? And before you know it, you're already thinking of quitting. So for me, what I realized is this: I was getting, I was, though I was making an effort every single day, made not the right, not the wrong. I don't, most likely wrong, because I'm not getting the results that I want, right? So I was also, I also didn't see that I was feeding, I was getting fed into the soul of failure, figuratively speaking, and if so, if failure had a soul, okay? So and I'm sure you guys can relate, because this one, it's a feeling like you live and breathe failure, and it can be a common tendency for all of us. Because when that happens, we lose interest, we lose passion, we lose energy, and we end up dragging ourselves every day towards whatever it is that we need to do. Okay, so so part of my one of the things that one of my so part of my very powerful lesson that I am now implementing is not to be defined by the emotions that failure brings. Diba? So what I did was take away all the emotions from certain triggers by anticipating the experience and events, and replace them by cueing a powerful perspective, and also redirecting another uh, goal, another dreamy goal that I can work on, where I can be in control. So it's sort of like perspective cueing, right? A very powerful perspective cueing, and at the same time, a balancer. See, one of the things that I know over time is that the only one we can help, who can help ourselves get out of the rut, is just ourselves. Okay, we can be served the simplest of solutions. However, if we don't know how to lift ourselves to it, we will always remain in the gutter of life, and that really sucks. And it's cyclical pa. That's why it sucks even more. Okay. So I love that when I love that that I am reminded of my own cue, right? I tell myself, do not fail me, do not fail yourself. I say, and it reminds, and when I say that, because that's my powerful cue for myself, when I say that, I am reminded that I am my own ally within. Okay, so you guys, how many failures have dragged you down emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, right? Take a step away from it, right, and assign an emotion to the perceivable events. Because many of the things that get us depressed over time, or feel or get us this that disappoint us or frustrate us over time, many of those times the triggers are almost the same. So if you are already but if you're already so close to the fire, you don't see that you're always feeding yourself there to that monster. So what you have to do is step back so you can see, it's like, so you can see the pattern, right? And when you can see the pattern, you can assign already the powerful cueing perspective. One of the things that I also, here's an example of a powerful cueing perspective. I hate bringing myself to trainings, to daily health and freedom. I hate that. I really do. It's like I hate anything. Say attending a, it's like attending a class, going to school. It's like that. I hate that. But here's the thing. I know also that every time I attend all the trainings, I attend my team. I am with my team for the health and freedom. I go into the support system. Every time I go there, I also know that I learn something and I feel empowered and it makes me happier and makes me more inspired. And then I start hit. I start. I work. I start hitting the ground running. I start to hit the ground running. Did I say that right? So here's the thing. So now my powerful cue is that really just melts away all that feeling of resistance. Is that I tell myself that it's already 8 o'clock. It's an opportunity. That's all that I say to us. And before that, I know that it's all an opportunity. I know already. I've already cued. It's an opportunity to have for growth, for inspiration, for the life that I wanted. So when I say the word, it's an opportunity. Everything just quiets down and I show up. Now I even try to show up on time. So those are my powerful lessons. I still have one more, but it's already 8 o'clock. So you guys, again, atomic habits. So you can just review what I said here. And then at the same time, just remember, guys, that you are your own ally. And I have been in this industry. We've simplified how you can start here, how you can help yourself, and how you can build. Diba? We've simplified it from the complex. And you know what? It's really just all about your mindset. So again, if you don't figure that out, you will always be your own enemy and your own downfall, right? So anyway, to everyone listening out there, maybe you're looking for a way to break yourself from self-limiting situations or habits or behaviors. Maybe you want to reach new heights or new breakthroughs. And what I can say is this: build these atomic habits, right? Recognize that you are the key to start you are the key to the start and end of anything that you may possibly like. Okay, basta legal, moral, and ethical. So doing these diligently and consistently will surely lead you to new paths, new great fork on the road, better choices, new learnings and insights, directions, and greater milestones and successes. So any of those development will always be empowering, whether you're just starting or arriving at your finish line, right? So set yourself up for success this 2022 and a lifetime of greatness. So this is DJ Chin. I'm saying good night for now, and I hope to see you guys again next Saturday. Remember, guys, this is what I always say: hashtag gaja, hashtag fighting. Good night, everybody. Mwah.